What's up? In this video, I'm going to talk about one thing about copyright claims that makes absolutely no sense to me on YouTube. So, the reason why I'm making this video is because a lot of YouTubers struggle with copyright claims or monetization in general, and it also happened to me in the last week actually. So I didn't like it, but I accepted it pretty quickly because it's only one video and my livelihood doesn't depend on it, unlike a lot of other YouTubers. Also, the day after my video got claimed, I saw that MXR Plays, so that's a YouTube channel, they were struggling really hard once again with monetization. And having experienced it myself, it made me realize even more how stressful it can be for content creators to deal with copyright claims or monetization issues. So all of this can be really terrible for mental health, and I can imagine how that could very easily bring someone to burnout. So anyway, let's get on with the video. First of all, let's look at how copyright claims work currently. Generally how it happens is there's an automatic system that can recognize if there's copyrighted material in videos. So basically it's really like an automatic system, in most cases at least. And sometimes it's also done manually, like people will claim a video manually. So the way it goes is this: it's first of all you get the copyright claim, and you can always basically give up or concede. And then if you don't want to concede, you have to dispute the claim. And then if the claimant agrees with you, then you get 100% of the revenue on the video. Basically, they say, okay, that's fine. If not, then you have to go on appeal. And it's kind of the same thing as the dispute, actually. So once again, you can write your appeal, and if the claimant agrees with you, great, you get 100%. If not, then that's when things can go wrong, because the claimant can basically say, oh, okay, we're going to take down the video now. So at this point, you can cancel the appeal if you want to, and avoid a copyright strike. Or you can say, I'm going to make a counter notification. And at this point, that's really where the claimant has to decide if they want to go to court with you or not. And after that, there's the lawsuit if it reaches that step, I guess. And in all cases, depending on who wins, it's always like this. It's either you as the creator get 100% of the revenue, or if you concede or you lose the 100% of the revenue. Okay? So if both parties do end up deciding that they want to go to court to settle this, because if you didn't already know, to determine whether a video constitutes a case of fair use or not, well, that's why you have to go to court, and that's where a judge will decide if it applies or not. So yeah, it's pretty much something that you want to avoid in general. But in this video, I won't talk as much about the obvious problem of most people, which is that they can't really afford to go to court, or that going to court is extremely stressful and tedious, as you probably know. What I want to focus on instead is how the very first step of the legal process of contesting a copyright claim ruins everything, and that's mainly why it's so hard for content creators in general. So let's go back to the part where a video gets a copyright claim. That's where the issue lies, actually. When you get a copyright claim, if you aren't prepared, like I said earlier, to contest the claim until the end and basically go to court, the claimant will get 100% of the ad revenue your video makes. All of it. So because of that, it's pretty easy for big companies to bully YouTubers into accepting copyright claims, even though fair use probably applies. And the copyrighted material, in most cases at least, only represents a portion or a very small portion of the video. So no matter how big it is, if companies decide to do that, you're kind of stuck with either giving up the revenue or going to court. But by definition, unless you blatantly copied someone's work, the video you made is also copyrighted. So here's how this website phrases it. It's fairly simple. If you created the video, the copyright belongs to you. If you upload content created by someone else, the copyright belongs to that person, and you had better have permission to do it. As soon as the work is created, so is the copyright. So wait, hang on a minute. When a claimant takes 100% of the ad revenue you would make on a video that you created, for the most part, at least, they are by definition committing copyright infringement. Or at least, that seems to be pretty much the same thing to me. So that's why I'm saying that this system makes no sense and why it's a huge contradiction. For example, let's take the video I uploaded that I talked about earlier. Essentially, it's a comedy video that lasts 2 minutes and 36 seconds. And here's what I did. I used 2 copyrighted songs. I used one of those songs for about 29 seconds. And that represents 18.5% of the duration of the video. So they claimed the video, and then I disputed the claim, and then they rejected my dispute. So now what am I supposed to do? Like, appeal and hope that they simply change their mind? They like already manually decided that they were declining my dispute, basically. So it's pretty much like, forget it. I'm not gonna go to court for this, or at least I'm not gonna risk a copyright strike or going to court, basically. So the end result is this: the video is claimed, and now they take 100% of the revenue, like I said earlier. Yet I'm the one who made this video, and most of it belongs to me. Took me hours to make. So I disputed the claim, and they rejected it. Therefore, they are unfairly using my content to make money off of it. And in other words, copyright infringement. The same thing that they are accusing me of doing, basically. You know, that's what I'm saying. So that's the big contradiction that makes no sense to me, like I said earlier. So who's right here? Do I own all of the video, or do they own all of it? And here's the simplest answer to this. In this case, it's pretty obvious. Objectively, none of the parties own the video entirely. Okay? Therefore, what this means is that they're profiting off of my video and taking all of the revenue, even though they should at best only get a percentage of it. And that's only if fair use doesn't apply here, which I think it does, but I'm not sure anymore after that whole situation, so, you know. Anyway, now that we talked about why the current system makes no sense and sucks, basically, here's my solution to make things more logical, easy, and fair, I guess. This is the current system with the all or nothing mentality, and that is what the new process would look like. The solution is to simply have both parties share the revenue. So for example, in this case, my video, the 29 seconds of the first song represents, like I said earlier, about 18.5% of the duration of my video. So both parties could simply agree from the start, okay, that the claimant does not own the whole video, but that they do own a portion of it. Same thing for the other song I used. And things would stay like that only if this doesn't constitute a case of fair use. So, until or if there is ever a lawsuit between the two parties. So instead of me having to challenge the claimant until we go to court, I would have the option to accept the claim and essentially make a compromise with the claimant. Same for them. Even if they really think that what I did isn't fair use, they would be limited to a percentage of the revenue that represents what they own in the video. And if the claimant think that they own the whole video, basically, or that I think that this constitutes a case of fair use, then we go to court to decide who gets how much. That's it. That's very simple, right? And of course, the exception would be when your video obviously doesn't constitute a case of fair use, like when it's not even debatable. So YouTube could set some standards for what is debatable and what is not, basically. Anyway, that's why I really don't understand why it doesn't work this way. And if it did, many content creators would often choose the option to make a compromise. It would be fair and it would also greatly improve the mental health of content creators. If we need to change the law for that to happen, then we should make it happen, or at least we should consider making it happen. Everyone would be happy after that, except maybe claimants who abuse the copyright claim system. Have a good day.